Hi, my name is Alissa Garcia, and I'm an investment relationship manager and the communications manager at Schneider Wealth Management Advisors. This video is the first in a series where we'll talk about investment and financial planning subjects that are most important to you. After you watch this video, please take a moment and think about a question that you would like to have answered. You can reply directly to this email address and we'll add it to the queue. To kick off this series, I'm here today with our CEO, Nancy Skeans, and our managing partner, Derek Eichelberger. And we wanted to dive a bit further regarding the article that one of our partners, Dave Brinkman, recently wrote about a survey that was taken on happiness levels and how they correlate with advisor relationships. In its 2021 Consumer Financial Behavior Study, Herbers and Company asked 1,000 people around the country about their levels of happiness. And in that study, they defined happiness as the feeling that reflects how well an individual's needs are met, including things like your personal, mental, physical, and relational needs for you and your family. And the survey results strongly suggested that individuals and couples are happier when working with a financial advisor compared to similar consumers who don't engage with an advisor. And that was almost at a 2-to-1 margin. And the critical crossover point was at $1.2 million of assets, and it accelerated significantly at $6 million. So Derek, since you've worked with a lot of individuals and families at this asset level, what are your thoughts on why there's such an increase in happiness levels there?
Yeah, I think obviously, the article shows that, just having a plan in place with an advisor gives people a lot of peace of mind. Now, as the asset levels increase and you start to get to the levels that you're talking about, $6 million and up, I think a number of things happen. One is you have a lot more choices about what you can do at those kinds of asset levels, which can be overwhelming for people, the amount of choices. But I also think what's important is that with that level of assets often comes a new level of stress. So, if you had a $100,000 portfolio and you were to lose 10% because of a mistake that you made in managing it, you'd lose $10,000 and you'd feel bad about it. At a $6 million level, a 10% loss is a $600,000 loss. And so, I've had a number of clients who come into significant wealth and, you have your first meeting with them, you'd think, oh, well, they're going to be incredibly happy about where they are today. And often they come in and say, I don't know what to do with this. I'm stressed about it. I don't know, how to manage this. I want to be a good steward of this. So I do think that's why you're seeing such a large increase as the asset levels go up, because the level of responsibility that people feel goes up as well.
Great. I would absolutely agree with the clients that I've worked with. That has definitely been the trend, and where you could have all the money in the world, and that's not what creates the happiness. And I think what this article and the survey points to is it's really the financial clarity that an advisor can bring to a relationship, and the conversations that an advisor can bring that maybe whether you're single or married, it doesn't matter. You may not even think to bring up to yourself. So Nancy, you've been advising clients for 30 years. What conclusions have you drawn on the connection between that financial clarity and levels of happiness?
I think one of the biggest things that I see working with clients is when you're actually able to have a conversation with a third party, right? You have to have a relationship with that third party, your advisor, but the third party also acts as a buffer. Let's say we're having a conversation between a husband and a wife, and maybe the financial conversations aren't always the easiest conversations. They've lived together for 25 or 30 years. So, they've come into a routine of how they deal with money together. But you put a third party in the room that can tease out some questions and help guide them both in a direction where it is about communicating and it's about solving a problem. And so that makes people feel happy. You walk out of the room and you have answers to your questions, or what type of other information that you need to gather to try to determine where you're going to go. Conversations can be hard. One of the hardest conversations that we have with clients sometimes is on estate planning. Partners don't always agree with how children should inherit. They don't always agree with maybe who should be the guardian of a young child. They don't always agree on charitable gifting, or maybe they've never had a conversation at all. So if you can stand back as an advisor and lay it out and try to remove some of the emotion from those conversations, a lot of times you can help them solve those differences in a way that, again, they walk out the door and they feel better. One, they've solved it. They know the documents are going to be drafted, and it didn't end up maybe in an argument when it might have if that other person wasn't sitting actually in the room with you, right?
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate both of your time today. I hope everybody watching enjoyed this video and learned something from it. Please, if you haven't already read it, take a look at Dave's article on this subject. And while you're at it, again, send us a question for us to answer in one of our upcoming videos. Have a great day.